Welcome to Retire Smart, the uninitiated guide. I'm Tennille, and today we're talking to those of you who may be about 5 years away from retirement. Now, if that's you, I'm sure you are probably thinking about all kinds of things regarding your retirement. For some, you may be excited, and for others, you may be feeling a bit overwhelmed. This episode is really your chance to really understand what you can do realistically to prepare for your retirement. And if you're not 5 years away, I hope you'll stick around because this episode might be exactly what you need to avoid the stress and anxiety that many people feel during this final stretch. So, welcome, and I hope that this really supports you on your journey. So let's get into it. Now, if you're 5 years away from retirement, I want to reassure you it may be a short time, but it could be enough time to make a difference. But that's only if you stop guessing and you stop, wondering, hey, I think, I wonder, I may, and you really get into true, clear, and intentional action. And this is related to whether you've been saving for a while or you're just now playing catch up. This is really an important time for you to refine where you can land as you go into your retirement. And I just want to suggest five straightforward things that you can be focused on during this 5 year period. The first one would be knowing your numbers. And this is, as I would have mentioned in previous episodes, so important for anyone who wants to design the retirement of their dreams. You really need to know, is it possible? Where am I? What are my gaps? What can I do to pivot when I'm in a position to pivot? These things are important. And so you want to have a sense of what your current situation is in its most clear terms, most defined terms, as opposed to a very vague understanding and a hopeful, demeanor of, oh, well, I think it will work out. No, this is not the time for that. It's really important to know your numbers. The second thing you want to do would be to clean up any financial clutter that may be existing. And by that, I mean you want to pay off unnecessary debt, cut waste, simplify your finances. And you want to make this money that you have in this period really work towards your future as opposed to just paying, Peter, James, and Paul. You want it to really work for you. So you want to clean up those financial things that are unnecessary. The third thing that you want is really just plan for your actual costs. So you want to use a budget worksheet or even a calculator that has special features in it, like inflationary calculations and other things. And of course, you can access the tool that I have in my link below that could give you some support there. But you want to be able to map out what your future monthly needs would look like. Not from a position of, oh, I think it may cost. No, you really want to have a clear understanding of what those actual costs are. And that's important for the next step that I'm about to suggest, which is living your future budget now. Yes, unless you know what your actual costs are, you would not be able to do this fourth and very important point. Now, when I say live your future budget, what I'm really speaking about is having a sense of what retirement is actually going to be like financially. And that is basically trying to live on your retirement income now. This is like a test, a simulation that will show you what's realistic and what needs fixing. And I know for some of us, it may, when you're thinking about, hey, I'm going to actually be earning 70% of my last income, and you probably are saying, but I can't afford to do that. Right. And that is why doing it at this stage, if you're 5 years out, is really critical so that you get to really truly do what is necessary to adjust towards that point. The fifth thing that you want to do is you want to update any legal documents that you have. And that would include your will, your, insurance beneficiary documents, your bank beneficiary documents, credit union, etc. You want to clear up all of those legal documents and make sure that everything is up to date so that you don't leave it for later. You actually are in action with respect to those elements. So I'm sure these five things seem very, very plausible, and I'm hoping that if you are 5 years out, that you will take at least one or two of those that I would have suggested and try it and make it a part of your planning strategy. All right. Because if you do nothing, the pressure will keep building. But if you take action, if you take real, simple, direct steps, you, I'm sure, will walk into retirement knowing at least that you did your part. Right. And if you have been doing some personal reflection, maybe you've been doing some journaling, I'm not sure. Now is the perfect time to turn those thoughts into a real plan. Now, if you need help putting it all together, you can feel free to contact me on my links below so that you can have access to perhaps a planning session. And you can also take actual action with some of the suggestions I made by utilizing the Retire Smart Essentials Toolkit that will be available very soon for those who want to experience and to build and to plan all of the relevant things necessary for a wonderful retirement. In that toolkit, you will also have access to our GAP tool, which I've renamed the Freedom Forecast tool. You'll have access to budgeting templates and checklists, etc. Now, it's available, so it's one of the best ways that you can move from planning to progress. You can check it out in the link below. Just remember that you don't need to be perfect, but you need to be prepared. You've got 5 years, let's use them wisely. Why not subscribe, share, and check out the toolkit? Up next, we will cover how to protect your retirement income from taxes. So you don't want to miss that. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.